joining me live, and to those that'll be joining me and Ashy Knuckles on Archive. What's going on, everybody? And what's going on, Ashy?
What's going on, DStyle, man? I'm doing good on this Tuesday.
It is Tuesday, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, guys. A little late. It's all right. Okay, Punch a Chance with Ashy Knuckles. All right, make sure you go visit his website, man, mandatorydefense.com.
Yep.
Right, to get your latest boxing content. Ash, how's it going with the website, man?
Oh man, it's going okay. Just constant work keeping it updated because news keeps coming out, man. News keeps coming out. But this go around is a whole lot easier than the last time. I mean, boxing fans are responding like crazy. Of course, I'm the only one that can keep up with the data in terms of how many hits and views that it gets. But when you look at on the back end of the website and look at the graphs and stuff like that, like I say, the boxing fans it's trending. Boxing is trending, man, because it don't take much to get people to visit. So that's a good look.
Most definitely. I see you have a Ronnie Shields article right there. You also did an interview which people could find on Ashy Knuckles Boxing here on YouTube. Make sure you guys check that out. All right, make sure you check that out. And getting hits for that Mayweather article, right?
Oh man, that thing blew up. But boy, if he would have actually retweeted the damn thing, it probably would have had just an overload of traffic.
Dude, Mayweather
retweeted that. That's not what it used to be, man. Everybody used to retweet and like and all this. It ain't like that anymore.
People are very like I'll do it myself kind of thing now. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to give props for do nowadays, but on Twitter anyway. You know what I mean? I think there's more love here on YouTube. All right, but
yeah,
I don't know what's going on with Twitter, man. I used to get a lot of traffic there, but now it's I don't know. All right, what's up to Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens and G Funk 84? What's going on? All right. So really quick, I want to just touch on this fight here. Don't want to like dive into it a little too much, but looks like on Fox, okay, in a couple of days on Fox, okay. Peter Quillen, by the way, fighting Celeb Truax. Didn't Truax blow his knee or something like that?
I know Caleb hurt himself in some capacity in their first outing, and the fight had to end in a way that we wouldn't have liked it, but I guess they had it signed for the rematch, and I don't know what happened this time. But now Angulo's coming in as a late replacement, and if he's trying to get back on the scene and try to rebuild a career that he once had, hey, now's the time. So we'll see about that. Because I heard Chavez Jr. wanted to fight Angulo. I believe it was Angulo he wanted to fight.
Okay.
Later.
That's an interesting call out. That's a hell of a fight, but I think Angulo, real quick, I think Angulo can beat Chavez Jr. Am I crazy thinking that?
I don't say you're crazy for thinking that. I think it's a hell of a fight. The best Angulo was around 154 pounds, and Chavez he's big at 68. Man, that's a big old dude. The one time I interviewed Chavez when he fought Peter Manfredo, that dude was huge. So I think that's an uphill battle because whatever he lacks in terms of skill, or whenever you're trying to compare him to the El Gran Campeón Mexicano,
right.
Wherever he falls short on that note, he makes up on toughness. He's tough. He's a tough dude. He could take an ass beating, man. So he'll be in that thing for as long
I'll give him that. Like he'll come out of shape and still go to full 12. Like,
right.
He'll take a beating. I'll give him that. But yeah, it looks like the rematch has been scrapped. So that fight is a non-thing. Truax has an Achilles injury. That's a terrible injury to have if you're a boxer. Okay, Chavez Jr. is too big, says Boxing Spectrum. Lara should fight Quillen, and Oliveira should fight Angulo. Yeah. Oh, so it's Angulo, right? So Angulo's going to fight Quillen?
Yeah, Angulo fighting Quillen.
Gotcha. Okay. Interesting.
That should be interesting too, right? Yeah.
I think Quillen wins that fight. Who do you got winning that fight?
Yeah, if he fights a disciplined fight, and operate behind his jab, he should be all right. I mean, he's more of a 1-2 type fighter. Um, but he does have a good right hand, and if he can get that right hand going and keep Angulo off of him, man, he should be able to beat him quite easily. But if he can't hurt Angulo,
Yep.
Angulo may walk him down. So we'll just have to see what happens on that. I'm sure Quillen is anxious to get back into the mix in his division. I don't know how that fares for him at 68 now, right? Or is he at 60 still?
That I would need a fact check on that. To be honest with you, they didn't even prep for that. It was just I just threw it out there, but um, we'll have to look at that for sure. But hey, Quillen needs to get some fights on his belt ASAP to get back in a mix. You know what I mean?
I think it's middleweight, bro.
We'll see. So somebody will get a fact check on that. As far as this fight, though, Lara versus Alvarez, it's 168. Somebody just put on there. All right. But Lara versus Alvarez, Ramon Alvarez. Okay. No, nobody. This ain't the rematch, guys. Okay. This is Ramon Alvarez, who's 28-7 with 3 draws. He lost to Brandon Rios. He lost to Margarito. I mean, this is not the one of the. He's like the lower tier Alvarez brothers. Okay, going in there against a world class fighter in Erislandy Lara, who's 25-3-3. Had a really close fight with Hurd. Okay, I thought that was a really close fight. Just 2 fights ago, he just came off of a loss. Ashy, I think Lara's going to handle Ramon Alvarez here. I mean, you could argue a draw or maybe even beat Canelo, right? I don't think he has a problem with Ramon Alvarez.
By the looks of it, when you look at his record, man, when you look at the guys that he struggled against, I have a hard time, finding an argument to go against what you just said, man, because he lost. Speaking of Chavez Jr., he lost to his little brother, didn't he? So yeah, I mean, well, you know what, Lara needs to get back. He needs not a good opponent, but he needs an opponent that can build that confidence back in him to get back where he was. I mean, he lost the fight with Jared Hurd, and I believe he was the favorite to win that. He should have been. And he went life and death with Jared Hurd, and that kind of built Jared Hurd's stock up a whole lot more.
I think Omar Chavez fought this Alvarez before Canelo fought Chavez Jr. And then I remember Chavez Sr. was bragging about how they're 1-0 against the Alvarezes, and that's what I remember about that.
Yeah, well, it didn't pan out too well. But he'll be going up something entirely different this time. Lara, he didn't fight his fight in the fight with Jared Hurd, but Lara is still a very tricky guy. He's a veteran. He's fought the who's who in the 154-pound division. He has deceiving power. He doesn't move as much as he used to, but that could be a factor of age setting in. Most guys who move in their career usually slow down as they begin to age. But he's crafty enough to set this guy up, decode whatever he's trying to do, and put together dial up the right combinations to score and score big. So we may even see an impressive knockout. So I mean, it's impressive that Ramon, is stepping up to face him. I mean, fighters fight. Even the sorriest dude in the gym think they got something.
Yeah.
Just facts. It's just facts. But the ring is gonna sort it out, like it always does.
By the way, I'm not even joking, Ashy. If Ramon Alvarez wins this fight, to me, it's the upset of the year. Like if he wins this fight,
I am in agreement with that. It's not many people, even still to this day, in the 154-pound weight class that I favor over Lara. Maybe a few. Maybe a few that I put above him, But just regular contenders and journeymen and guys in the lower uh, part of the rankings, I don't favor them against Lara. Lara's still a very crafty guy. He still know all the tricks of the trade, and there's really nothing that they can bring to the table that he hasn't seen before. So, what new chink or kinks in the armor? Not kinks in them. I'm sorry, bro. What new skill or
Right.
something? What can they bring to the ring that he hasn't seen, and that'll give him the upper hand? But at the same time, what did we could have said the same thing about Jared Hurd? So
Right.
at the end of the day, we'll see who wants it more. Laura's there to be hit now, and but he's still a tough guy. We'll just see what happens, man. I think Lara has it in the bag. It's
Yeah.
gonna be hard to keep him out of the top.
This is for a vacant, I believe, the WBA championship. It's a vacant title. I can't believe Ramon Alvarez is fighting for a world title.
WBA has like 8 fucking titles, so who knows which the international, the full belt, the interim, what the fuck, man?
I don't think it's super.
Regular, super,
The value middle belt,
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, I think Alvarez wins. I get what you guys are saying. Lara doesn't have the same legs he used to, but he's good enough to beat Ramon Alvarez. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Lara is still a world-class fighter. What I mean by that, you could argue this guy's top 10 in his division, right? Yeah. Ramon Alvarez has not beat anybody in the top 10. If Lara loses to Ramon Alvarez, it's time to hang him up. Hang him up. Hang up the boots. Hand over your boots, or your boxing boots. Okay. Hang over your gloves. We're gonna hang him, and it's a wrap. That's it.
Yeah, sign him, give it to a charity, because you don't need to put him back on anymore.
You could sign him with a Sharpie. Okay. All right. And DStyleBoxing is brought to you by Sharpie. This is a puncher's chance with Ashy Knuckles. And make sure you visit the website, MandatoryDefenseBoxing.com. You can see it there. Right there, right under there, right? And make sure you guys throw a jab. Throw a jab at the like button. Let's get those likes up, all right? Going to move on from this card because I just think that it's an easy win for Lara. I'll tune in, but I think it's an easy win for him. With that said, Povektin, Fury. Povektin's coming off that loss to AJ back in 2018. He hasn't fought since. He's coming back. I guess he's trying to, don't call it a comeback or whatever, right? He never announced retirement or anything, but he's coming back. He's 34-2. We know where the 2 losses came from. Joshua and Vladimir Klitschko, when Klitschko was the dominant force in the heavyweight boxing at the time, right? Povektin, 67% knockout ratio, 75-inch reach, 6'2". Right? These guys are big. Fury is 6'6". He's going to tower over him, right? 80-inch reach. He has a 5-inch reach advantage over Povektin. That's the reach, though. I think his arm length is a lot longer than Povektin. Povektin has pretty short arms for heavyweight. 23-2, however, he is the poor man's version of Tyson Fury. All right. Is the poor man's version of Tyson Fury good enough to beat Alexander Povektin, Ash?
On the surface, I'm going to say no. You know what I'm saying? On the surface, I'm going to say no. But it's the heavyweight division. Anything it can happen in a fight. Anything can definitely happen in the heavyweight division. Hughie Fury, yeah. He is very rangy and tall, and he has really good speed. It's not like he has any thump behind those punches, but he can move a little. He can move a little bit well, and if he can establish some range and some distance, man, he may be able to make a good run out of this thing and possibly pull an upset. I wouldn't put my money on him, to be honest. Losing to Anthony Joshua, I know Anthony Joshua is catching a whole lot of trouble right now from the boxing fans. Everybody's going in on him, saying that he really ain't that good based on the upset loss to Andy Ruiz. But he is good. You have to be good to even be at that level, to get to that level, much less to lose it to someone else. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So I'm going to say losing to Joshua cannot be the worst thing in the world. You know, you got two good fighters in the ring, somebody's gonna take that L. You know what I'm saying? But we know what Povektin can come to do because we've seen him time and time again. We know what he brings to the table. And I think what he brings to the table is substantially more than what the poor man's Fury is bringing to the table. And I think his experience in fighting better competition should help him pull him over the top in this particular fight. But if he's not prepared and he overlooks Fury, it's going to be a boring 12 rounds with him catching like 1,000 jabs to the end till the thing is over with. I mean, Huey Fury, he just fought a terrible version of Sam Peter. I mean, terrible version of Sam Peter. I mean, I didn't even know this dude was even still fighting, you know? But that ought to tell you where he is right now in his fight game. If you matching him up against that guy, you know, the best of Sam Fury was maybe 10 years ago, 9 years ago. Yeah. Even then, you know, he was on Team Rebuild, you know? So, no, I think Povektin should probably, you know, it probably could be a little difficult early, but he will get to him. And when he get to him, he going to crack that chin. And if he don't stop him, I think he'll win a significant amount of rounds to secure the decision. So, who next? AJ10.
Who next?
Yeah, who next? Boy, there was so many memes on that shit.
Well, when he was a Nigerian nightmare, you know, yeah. And you know, he's not that anymore though.
He's just a bad dream or some shit.
he's just I don't know what do you call something below a nightmare. Okay, Povektin should crack Fury's face. Look, man, I think Povektin wins this fight. Right? I think he's going to get inside. I think he's going to bang that body. I think if Fury's to win, he's got to do what Klitschko did. He's got to hold him. You know, every time Povektin comes in, it will be very boring. But I still don't think it'll work, man. Fury, I think he's getting knocked out mid-rounds.
I think he's getting knocked out too, but I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. You got to believe that Big Fury must have been whooping on his ass growing up, so he got to be able to take some type of punch.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That was just talking shit. But I mean, no, he don't have enough firepower.
When he first came out, I mean, I thought he had a lot of promise. You know what I mean? But I mean, it's just every time he steps up in competition, he just doesn't look that impressive to me. You know, especially when you compare him to the top echelon fighters, and especially if you compare him to Tyson Fury. You know, it's just not. I don't think he's gonna survive the 12 rounds in this fight. I think is it for 12 or I didn't even look. 12 or 10.
12-round fight, yeah.
12 rounds. Okay, there you go. All right, so Fury is going to sleep. Right, I think Povektin's gonna put this guy away, man. Povektin's hook is vicious, bro, and he's gonna get caught. Fury is. If Fury wins this fight, man, I'll be impressed. I got to be honest.
Yeah. I would be too, man. I don't just rate Povektin's hook too, man. I think his straight is pretty solid. I'm not gonna say it's a kill shot, but like I said, the dude has weighed like over 261 pounds before in the ring. When he comes in solid, man. When he throw those blows, they come and they have some impact, I think. And you know, Huey Fury, Huey, whatever his damn name is.
Huey, yeah.
6 frame, you know, he's like a poor man's Deontay Wilder, you know, in terms of how much he weighs in the ring. I'm not saying in terms of his fight, his abilities. He weighs like around 218, 215 at 6'6", so he's not the ideal build for a heavyweight either. But it's not bodybuilding. It's not a looking contest. I'm sure Kalinowski would agree with that. But I just feel weight still matters, even though it's the plus 200-pound division. And you know, it helps that he has a good skill set to go with it. So for the big guys. So
yeah, most definitely. For those coming in, make sure you throw a jab at that like button. All right, and make sure you visit MandatoryDefenseBoxing.com.
Yes, sir.
Okay, the link is right there. Make sure you guys check that out. You are tuned into A Puncher's Chance with Ashy Knuckles. All right. Look, the main event of that card is Lomachenko Vasil high tech Lomachenko, the Matrix. All right, he's 13-1. All right, he only has one loss. That was his second fight. He was crazy enough to fight Salido in the second fight. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Boxer has him listed at 5'7". This dude's not 5'7". He's like 5'5", 5'6". I don't know, but maybe I'm wrong. But I don't think he's that tall. All right, but Lomachenko, I don't think he's 5'7".
Oh no, he's short. He's like 5'4", 5'5" tops.
Yeah. I think that's either a typo or they just got the shit wrong. Okay, 65-inch reach. All right. 71% knockout ratio, and he's going to go in there against Luke Cambell, who's 5'9". That sounds about right. Okay, 71-inch reach. All right.
That freakish reach.
A lot taller than Lomachenko. That's how I know Lomachenko's not 5'7". Okay. 73% KO ratio. That's very solid. Both guys similar KO ratios, although Lomachenko's far better competition.
Indeed.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. But he did lose to Linares, my dude Linares, in 2017. I don't think I forgot about that, guys. Okay. But now he's supposed to go in there against Lomachenko and give him some work. What do you think, Ashy?
Man, this is a very good fight, man. It's not like on paper it shouldn't be a walk in the park. Most people will look at who don't know Cool Hand Luke, they'll look at him and think he's just a pushover, but he's a legit fighter. You know what I'm saying? He was a good amateur. He won a gold medal in the Olympics. He's a rangy southpaw boxer puncher, and he can do a lot of great things in the ring. I mean, he goes to the body very well. He counters very well, and he protects himself well upstairs a lot. He picks his shots very well. He can place his punches very well, and he even got a little hard up in there because in the fight with Linares hit his ass with a straight, put his ass right on his seat, and he would get up and fight Linares real hard for the rest of that fight. And end up losing a close decision. And you know what? The decision, it was a good decision, but it should have been a close decision, in my opinion, because they fought each other real hard, So he's coming to the ring with a whole lot of range to his game. And on top of all that, he's not a small guy. He's not a guy that entered into the sport of boxing as a featherweight, as Lomachenko did. We know Lomachenko from coming up in weight. Like you said, he lost to Salido in the second fight. I called that fight for Salido. Matter of fact, he had it. Yeah, Salido was a southpaw killer, man. You couldn't take that away from him. You know what I'm saying? He could decode southpaws like it's nobody's business. You know what I'm saying? But you're neither here or there. You know what I'm saying? It's what he's done since then. Boxing, what have you done for me lately? And since that fight, he has been put up against the best competition from that time until now, and he has looked stellar against him. Especially when he went up to 130 pounds, he was making damn near everybody quit. Even when they brought up Rigondeaux, which he shouldn't have been up there to begin with, of course, it made him quit. But he's been finding tougher competition at 135 pounds. Not that it matters, he's still winning, but he's been put on his ass once, and he's been having tougher fights with these guys who were much bigger. So I would expect the same thing to happen against this particular big guy. It'll be two southpaws facing each other, but Lomachenko has faced a southpaw before.
Yep.
And Lomachenko is high tech, man. He's like a fucking machine in there. He's gonna be on him. But Cambell, he's gonna be right there waiting on him. If he can establish some distance and operate behind that jab and counter Lomachenko and make him respect him and bag him off of him, he could win. The likelihood of it happening is probably very slim, because one thing Lomachenko can do, and that's adapt. And the one kink in the armor that I see for Cambell is that even though he protects himself well upstairs, he leaves his body exposed. And because Lomachenko has a low center of gravity and he finds his way on the inside fairly quick and often, he will be throwing combinations to the body. And I think that's the route of victory for him, and that's the route I see for him. So I got Lomachenko in that particular fight, and I'm going to go ahead and go by stoppage to the body.
Ooh, look at that.
Yeah.
Really quick, shout out to E. Woodson with that $5 super chat. It says Dragon Style. Good chat, family. Thanks very much for the support. All right. And people's disputing the 5'7". Okay. I think Lomachenko's like 5. I think it's like 5'5" and like 3/4.
Yeah.
There's no way that dude's 5'7", bro. They got to fix that. Okay. Just like Canelo's not 5'8". Right, or 5. I think they have him as 5'9", but that's no, he's not. Okay, why does that happen, Ashy? Why are some athletes put a taller? Like, what do you think that is?
It's probably just human error on the webmaster's part, as far as on BoxRec, because they have some fights on there that they have like a stoppage in round 6, and when you watch the fight, it's a stoppage in round 8. Or they may have a guy who weighed in on weight, but when you remember the fight from back ago, you'd be like, hold on, he didn't make weight. What are they talking about? So it's just human error, I think, man. Oh, shit. You saw that comment?
Yeah, that is. First of all, I mean, look, here's the thing. All right. I understand that we got to put stuff in perspective, but here's my thing, bro. Okay. Lomachenko was the one that wanted to fight Salido in his second pro fight, right? You know what I mean? Like, he's the one that wanted to fight.
Yeah.
And he was, and here's what I was hearing, right? Because I remember Ashy, myself, and I can't really, I'm being honest, I can't recall other channels. I'm not saying they weren't there, but.
Right.
Then this is when I was still like, I guess, remember how we were talking about Twitter? Like, people would actually retweet and talk, and
Yeah.
I was telling people on Twitter, like, dude, like, he's crazy to fight Lomachenko. He's crazy to fight Salido in the second fight. He's gonna turn around and lose. No, you don't understand. He's one of the best amateurs of all time.
Oh my God, they said that so much.
He's gonna beat him easy. It's gonna be easy work, and like he like. They like, and I would tell them, do you guys really think? Do you really believe Salido's going to stand there mid-range and try to out-jab Lomachenko, and try to beat him to the punch and be first? Like, bro, dude went out there, roughed him up, and manhandled him for a good 5-6 rounds. Okay, and you had a bunch of dudes acting like they never seen a pro fight in their life. Oh, look, he's cheating, ref, because he was hitting Lomachenko, borderline shots, but when they're away from the ref's angle, and if the ref don't see it and you don't know how to defend against it, it's on you. Okay, like they never seen a pro fight in their life.
Right.
And you could tell me all you want. That's what Salido made it ugly. He made it a back alley brawl. And that's something you do not see in the amateurs.
That's right.
Credit to Lomachenko, he made some adjustments in the third of that fight. Okay? In the third of that fight, he made some adjustments, and he almost had Salido like out of there in the 12th round. But Salido, veteran, he survived, right? And I understand Salido didn't make the weight. I understand that but you guys are arguing that he fought dirty. And look, the reason you don't fight a veteran like that in your second fight is because they're going to pull every trick that they've learned over the years, and Lomachenko just wasn't ready for it, all right? He wasn't ready for it, guys, and he'll always have that victor over him. And by the way, all right, Lomachenko didn't just have one fight; he had a couple of those, World Series of Boxing fights too. All right, so it's not the first time he fought without headgear in that, but it's the first time he fought a 12-round fight, right, against a veteran like that. The right thing to happen was him losing. That was the most likely scenario. You guys saw it. Right, but the boxing meet, like, people were writing off Salido. I couldn't believe it, Ashy. I couldn't believe how they were just writing him off.
Yeah,
right? Easy work.
Well, you know how they are. They are the first one to turn cheerleaders, and it's like clockwork, man. And to be honest, man, Lomachenko has that effect on people, man. You're not used to seeing, a guy that short, or I don't know, let's just call a spade and say an Eastern European fighter, fight so rhythmic, throw so many volume of punches, show so many skills, the speed, the power, the quickness, the elusiveness, the head movement, the conditioning. You know what I'm saying? The counter punching, he can dictate. I mean, the guy can do literally. You know what? He a bad mother. He a bad boy. I don't want to be cursing all on your shit, but that's a bad boy. So I mean, I can see.
See, internet. I curse all the time.
Huh?
I curse all the time.
Yeah, I can see how it can make them believe that he can do superhuman type stuff, but it kind of bring you back to reality, man. That you're not scoring with the white part of your glove, man. This is the real deal. This is boxing, man. And with the right game plan, any fighter can be beat, and that was proven that night, man. I'm not gonna try to box with you. I'm gonna rough you up and try to outman you.
Like,
you know.
Oh, let's play chess. You move a piece,
and then I'll go.
And then you go. No. Salito was like, "What's that?" Dude, turn around, move pieces. Hey, wait. Did you do something? Yeah, I did. What were you do about it?
Yeah.
Right? He was knocking out pieces off the board, and Lomachenko was like, "Hey, you can't do that." Yeah, he could.
Yeah. He wasn't in all of them, I think Lomachenko learned a lot from that fight.
Boxing Spectrum. I actually did a play-by-play on that fight, bro. Nakatani clearly beating Teofimo. I disagree. Teofimo didn't perform the way he was supposed to. He struggled, and Nakatani won some rounds, but he didn't clearly beat Teofimo. I scored the fight, I forgot what I scored it, but I had Teofimo winning by 2 or 3 rounds. But so there's going to be a disagreement there, but that's just my opinion. Real talk, people have never seen Eastern European fight style and great. Yeah, he's good, bro. Right? Yeah, and guess what? A lot of his influences, whenever they interview Lomachenko, he names a lot of American fighters. Okay. All right. Iwatson, Theo better sharpen up to get a belt. He can crack. Yeah, he has to be more defensive, counterpunch. Well, we'll talk about Teofimo some other day, but Loma needs to stay away from 140. Well, we will see, because he's going to fight a big 135 pounder here. Teofimo will improve. You guys talking about Teofimo Lopez, bro? Like Teofimo. Anyway,
40 stat. You're right.
Yeah, 140 has a lot of strong. Absolutely, those guys are big, bro. Yeah. Race, big. Taylor,
Darwin Price.
Bro, that boy. Ramirez, Hooker, those guys are, a lot bigger than Lomachenko, right? But look, man, I think Lomachenko's going to beat the shit out of Luke Campbell, right? I agree he's going to hit that long torso of his. It's going to be a long target, right? Those body shots will be landing. I don't know if he'll knock him out. If they stop this fight, either Luke Campbell's corner throws in the towel, or something like that. But I think Lomachenko wins. But I don't know anyone who's picking Luke Campbell to win this fight. You know anybody, Ash?
No, not one person. But that'd be a great win for him, and I don't count him out. I watched one of his fights the other day. Against I forget, it was a Mexican guy who was in there. I forget his name, but he set him up with some great combinations, man. Especially when he had him hurt, and he ended up becoming the first guy to stop him.
Yeah,
I think he was hurting him real bad to the body, and then he faked the body shot, hit his ass with a mean straight left, had his ass stuck. So he shows a lot of promise, man. He really does. But there's nobody on his resume even remotely close to Lomachenko, and Lomachenko's fought the best of the best. So the onus is on Luke Campbell to prove that he belongs in there with the unified champ. But he got holes in his game, not many, but he got them.
It's in his home country. All right, it's in London, England, in the O2. Okay, Ashley, do you think there's going to be any foul play here? Because UK lately, anyway.
No, it ain't even going the distance. So who cares what the judges say?
Well, what about the gloves? What about the...
Oh, damn. I didn't think about that. Well, it's kind of hard to go to put any gloves on that are below 8 ounce without it being painfully obvious,
Right.
I think Lomachenko's corner is good enough to pick up on stuff like that because they have too much experience, especially at the championship level. anything that's fishy, I'm sure they'll be able to pick up on it. I think that was just one of those times, one of those rare times in boxing where shit just was not right with the Dillian White Riva situation.
Well, I mean, Luke Campbell can, if they have the same procedure, he can pop dirty, and they don't have to tell Lomachenko and
oh wow, I forgot about that. Yeah,
sample that could test that later on. So who knows, bro?
Yeah, that's jacked up, man. That's a great question you just raised, man. I didn't even think about it from that perspective. I'm thinking about the gloves and not being able to weigh them and inspect them. But hell, I forgot about the drug test and not being able to test a B sample. I mean, Campbell could come to the ring loaded, juiced up. Who knows?
Look, if Luke Campbell goes out there and blows like Lomachenko away, like I'm gonna be suspicious.
Me too. I mean, if he beats him, it depends on. I don't know, man. I try not to be. I try to be an optimist, but I am a pessimist. I ain't gonna lie. I accept things the way that they are. I don't look for what could possibly happen in brighter days. I accept things as they are right at the moment. You know what I'm saying? And it could happen. So if he raises an issue, I'll raise an issue. I'll put it like that.
I got Lomachenko dominating this fight.
No competitive rounds?
Maybe the first 2-3 rounds, right? If he can, I mean, if there's a pathway for him to win, it is the jab, okay?
In distance, right?
And capitalizing on some maybe Lomachenko comes in a little too overconfident, right?
Right.
If we're talking about him dominating, what do you think his inner circle saying? And like oh, everybody's saying you're going to dominate, champ. So if he starts believing that himself, but not doing what he's been doing, all the work, right? Then it could be dangerous. But I'll tell you what, though, the adrenaline for Campbell's going to be real because he's going to be at home, crowd. I mean, he's going to have a burst of energy, which he could turn into a positive energy, or it could drain him. Everyone's different, but we will see.
I think he can fight his best fight and give it his best. He just strikes me as a little different, man. When I hear him speak and stuff like that, he's a confident fighter, and he has talent, and that's a great thing. That's not arrogant. You got to have that certain arrogance about yourself when you're going in the ring and somebody's trying to beat the shit out of you. So. And I saw that when he fought Linares. He was in that fight and he was trying. And he was landing some shots, especially in Linares' body. Yeah. So I think if he can get respect, if he got enough, because he's a boxer puncher.
And people like Linares is no joke. I mean,
right, Linares is no joke. If he can hit Lomachenko and get some respect, he can really make a fight out of this thing. But if Lomachenko's not in all of his power in any way, shape, or form, yeah, he'll stop him. I think to the body though, because he protects his face really well. When he come at him, he'll put that high guard up. But that's his method of defense.
What he's got to do, he's got to go there, make it physical, like Jeff Horn did with Pacquiao and shit. You know what I mean? Like my bad. You know what I mean? Like just go in there and ruffle up.
He's a bigger guy. Nice. You see, so he didn't like it with Salido. Nobody else has been able to do it. He's a strong little dude, though, man.
Oh, he is, and I'm sure he learned from the Salido fight. I'm sure he learned. You know what I mean? So now he's like, every other veteran's like, God damn it, Salido already showed him all the tricks. But because Salido emptied out that bag, bro, in that fight.
Yeah.
Whatever trick he had, he pulled it out. Okay? I think a rabbit popped out like in the middle of that fight. Like, whoa, what was that?
He did great, man.
He was like,
that was a well-traveled Salido. That wasn't a prime Salido.
Dude, Salido learned English just to say, "What's that over there?" Just to make it turn around. But that was something. But I'll tell you what, man. Campbell, like, I know it's going to sound weird saying this, but it's a good fight. It's just that Lomachenko's that good. Like, it's a good opponent, but Loma's that good where I'm saying he's going to get beat the hell up. All right? Okay, so I think he's going to beat up Luke Campbell. Now, can New Campbell make it a fight? I'm a boxing fan. I want to see a good fight. So I hope I'm wrong. I hope he does give him a good fight.
Indeed.
With that said, anyway, moving on. Really quick, Ashy, we gotta pull up tonight. Okay. By the way, if any other channel does that, I swear to God, you better shout me out. Okay. But we got to pull out. We got Executioner Hopkins, Winky Wright, Punisher Williams, and Miguel Angel Cotto for the next Appreciation Week. Who's got Ashy Knuckles' vote?
Well, until Bernard Hopkins gets his appreciation. Did you do Bernard Hopkins yet? You haven't done Hop yet.
He hasn't won a poll yet. It's his last shot, last opportunity. He is leading right now, but it is his 6th week. So, guys, get to voting. But who's got your vote, Ash?
I'm going to go with Hop, man. Like I said, maybe it was last week, but he has so many variations to his career, not just his game.
Right.
I mean, he's had like a few careers in one. He's one of the few guys, at least in my time, who I could say that about. And it would be nice if we can actually highlight some of his greatest, achievements and triumphs and stuff, given where he came from, before he started his professional career. That would be nice to do one on Hop.
Anthony Bolton, he's fighting Huey Fury, not Tyson Fury. I wish Tyson would actually fight.
Yeah,
I think Huey should fight the dude, his brother, his cousin, is it right? Is fighting, right? And Tyson should be fighting this dude. Okay,
that sounds about right.
They're fighting the wrong dude, but whatever. All right. If Teofimo backpedals, I guess it's not the takeover. Yeah, man, Teofimo's taking a beating, bro. He was talking about the takeover, and then he struggled with the Japanese cat, and ever since, bro, they've been out.
He don't want to face any tall fighters anymore. So
yeah. You heard what he said?
Yeah, man.
He said, well, he's 6 feet tall. Like I don't got to fight anybody that tall anymore. I don't know about that, bro. Tall dudes pop out, right? I thought it was Taco Tuesday D-Style. No, that's next week. Mike boy Cotto is in trouble. Haha. Oh, he's in big trouble. D-Style better not put Mike Tyson in the eliminator. Oh, it'll be a wrap. Tyson Fury gets on my nerves as he would. That's Tyson Fury. But that's that. Make sure you guys go vote in the poll. Anyway, moving on. But speaking of that, Ashy, early preview, man. Inoue, Donaire, or people will yell at me and be like, "It's Donaire." Okay, Donaire. All right.
Yeah.
But who do you have winning that fight, man?
Ooh. Well, I mean, everybody's high on Anyway,
the caveat is Donaire's never lost at that weight class, and he's big for that weight class.
Exactly. I was going to get to that too. In a way, I mean, he does a lot of great things, man. He throws some vicious fucking power shots, man. And he's fast. He relies a lot on his natural abilities in terms of getting away out of shots. It's not like he has like a Foreman type defense or a Winky Wright defense. I mean, he moves his head, and blocks. You know what I'm saying? If you can actually get to him, because he's usually on your ass, And, let's go ahead and throw the fact that he's a 3-division champion in and that he's doing quite well at bantamweight. I mean, guys are not giving him rounds. He hadn't gone 12 rounds in 3 years. So it's been like 8 fights since he's actually gone the distance. But in this fight, he going to be in there with somebody who's going to go rounds with him. And that's what's going to make it so interesting. Because Donaire, this will be, the 3rd or 4th fight for Donaire back in the bantamweight division. So he's making the weight. And he can punch too. Donaire, he gets guys out of there. Now, he may not be the Donaire that we used to see who had a whole lot more range to his game, especially in terms of, using the ring and boxing and stuff like that. Nowadays, he's walking these guys down and setting them up for big shots. And he can still counter well, even though he's willing to take a shot to give his. But, he used to do that in the past a little bit too, because his was going to always be a little bit more harder, especially if you got caught with that counter left hook. So this is going to tell us a lot about, in a way, it's going to tell us a lot about him because I would like to see what happens in the championship rounds against somebody of a Donaire's ilk. Because there's nobody on Inoue's resume that is remotely close to a Donaire. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Inoue because you can only dispose of the guys that they putting in front of you, and that's exactly what he's been doing. You don't belong in front of me, I'm gonna stamp you out of there. But if he can do that to somebody like Donaire, who's faced top-notch guys and went through all the divisions, all the way to featherweight, just to turn around and come back down and start deboing these small dudes. If he can do that, what he's been doing to Donaire, I'll give him his card. Point blank, period. But right now on the surface, I don't know, man. I have a hard time those little bitty guys, man. I'm not in a hurry to give them all these accolades like these writers do. I don't see what they see. You know what I'm saying? I see a bunch of names that I don't know who the hell they are. You know what I'm saying? But I know Donaire. So if he does that to Donaire, I will give him his card. So I'm rocking with Donaire because Donaire is coming off of a huge KO win too. And so far, he's been looking real good back at bantamweight. And we'll see, man. We'll see, man. We'll see how Inoue reacts when he hits a guy and the guy's not in awe of his power. And then we're going to see how he acts when he gets hit with shots that he usually hits guys with. I want to see how he behaves. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, most definitely. Look, here's my thing. All right, I got Inoue winning this fight, and everyone just saying, "Oh, Inoue's going to destroy him. Inoue's going to destroy him." Okay. Look, I use this line on my Will of the Boxing Gods Volume 1. Volume 2 is coming soon, guys. Okay. I haven't gotten to it, but I'll get to it. But by the end of September, I have it up. But I did say power is magnetic to the steel of our desires, right? That's what it is. And people fall in love with power, Ash, right? They see a dude knocking dudes out, they fall in love, right? Oh, yeah. Like, oh my God. It's like a chick with a big ass. It's like Figueroa's sister and shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, she's a bad one too, boy.
And that's what they say. Oh, that's a bad boy. You know what I mean? That's exactly what they say. All right? Power, it attracts people. They have a hard time picturing anyone overcoming that. But I have to ask you guys a serious question, right? I have Inoue winning this fight, right? But if he hits Donaire with his best shot, and Donaire is still in front of him, all right, and he knows, like, oh, usually when I land that, dudes fall apart. Like, usually when I land that, like, it's a wrap. Like, what are you still doing standing? It's like, to a lot of these guys with power, it's like they've seen a ghost when someone, you pop them and they're still there. Like, all right, what, it's that is scary to them. So, yeah, and Inoue is a good boxer, so he has that. He could fall back on that. But, man, if Donaire can take his best shot, bro, my question to you guys is, can Inoue take Donaire's best shot? If Donaire lands on Inoue, like cracks on him clean, right? This isn't the axe murder that was a lot bigger than Donaire. This isn't, a Rigondeaux who was slippery in there and it was cutting, distance and didn't allow Donaire to utilize, that whole torque and land his big shot. This is an Inoue who, in my opinion, is okay defensively, but he's not unhittable, right? He's going to get hit. So you have to keep that in mind. So I always tell people, I have Inoue winning, but don't count Donaire out, right? Like, there's no way Donaire signs up for this Super Series tournament, knowing Inoue's in it, knowing he's in different brackets, knowing I'm going to meet this guy in the final, without knowing he sees something. All right? I think he sees something, and he's going to give it a shot, bro. First 2-3 rounds, Donaire is dangerous. All right? So don't hold your breath on a guarantee. I give Donaire at least a 20% shot land something big, Ash.
I'll give him more than that, I think his counter hook is still on point, And to this point, we haven't seen anybody at least have the nuts to stand in there and try to counter Inoue, especially when he start digging those vicious ass body shots. My God. That may be a key to victory for Inoue. Those body shots, man. He can bend guys over with that left to the body. It's nasty. But for me, the biggest thing is his chin, his beard, his temperament. When he's brought in that fire, when he's brought in that water, like I always say on my channel,
The
and I
guy,
think Donaire can be the one to bring him. So we'll see. Until then, I'm not just totally sold. Of course, I got him ranked on mandatorydefense.com. I got him ranked in the pound for pound because hey, it's what have you done and what have you done lately? Not what Ashy Knuckles views on the sport himself. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I would have some other guys ranked in the top 10 than who I have there, and those things are subjective anyway. But if he beats Donaire, at least to me, he's earned his that placement that they give him freely. So
there's a website, guys. You can go to mandatorydefense.com. All right. And he does have a pound for pound list there. Ashy Knuckles does. All right. There's a sneak peek. Go to the website and check it out. Okay. But Ashy, I got to tell you, man, I think Donaire has a shot. Okay. I get giving him a better shot than me, but I'm giving him a shot. A lot of people are giving him no shot.
No, right? He's live. He's live, man.
Now, what do you think of this, though? I saw a video, bro, that had like 100,000 views, right? And dude's talking about how if Inoue wins this fight, he's number one pound for pound. What are your thoughts on that?
Does his name rhyme with Sleeve Jim?
No, not him. No, this is not a print guy. You know what I mean? This is a video on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Number one pound for pound?
Number one.
No. Maybe if it was a prime Donaire, possibly. Donaire used to be a pound for pound guy himself. So if he would have knocked off Donaire in his pound for pound days, like before Guillermo Rigondeaux got to him, then maybe we could talk about that.
Right.
But I mean, like I said, those things are subjective anyway. The sanctioned organization rankings should take precedence over any pound for pound list because you got to defend that shit. So
I got you.
Me personally, I wouldn't put him pound for pound number one, but it'd be hard to keep him out of the top 5. The shit that he's doing, I mean, nobody is literally testing this guy. He's just running through everybody.
So. Well, here's my thing, man. Yeah, he's mowing through dudes, and I get it, but every puncher at some point faces that dude that he can't knock out.
Indeed.
Right? And then that's when we find out what's up. You know what I mean? I think, for me, I think Neri beats Inoue. Right? Like that's I think that's I don't think it's as tough of a fight for Neri as some people think it is. You know what I mean? But if you ask the pundits, Inoue watches Neri. You know what I mean? Because their logic is, well, Inoue knocked out Payano in 1 round. It took Neri a couple rounds. So, apparently that means everything. You know what I mean? So that's how some people think. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know, but I'm not necessarily in agreement with it. I haven't taken my time to fully assess that fight too.
So there's a 6-1 underdog, bro. From what I understand,
that's betting material. I think
Yeah.
I mean, let's not take away the fact that he is 36 years old, and fighters age over one particular night. Just one night, they get old overnight. So it's a reason why. You know what I'm saying? That people say that boxing is a young man's game. You know what I'm saying? And this may be a sort of passing of the torch night too. I wouldn't put all my eggs in the basket for Donaire, but I do say that if Inoue blows him out, you really got to take note of it. You know what I'm saying? Because he's still dangerous, as we can see. This will be his 4th fight at bantamweight. He should be the naturally bigger, stronger guy, and he can crack too. And he got speed. He may not be as fast as this guy is in his prime, but he's fast enough to get to that chin, I think. And he has a good jab. He can keep Inoue off of him and start hitting him with some straights. Hit him with that get right a couple of times, and we'll see what happens. We'll see if he can stand up to it. So,
I got to be honest, Ashy. I think you're the only person I know that's
picking on there.
Win.
Predictions don't mean a damn thing no more. I'm so beyond trying to make sure I get the pick right. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's 2 men in the ring, man. We don't have no joysticks, no controls or anything. It really don't matter a damn thing what we say. That's why I have it right here.
The ring
X. It's going that's the truth about boxing. Regardless, you know what I'm saying? That's the truth about it. The bell's gonna ring, and these 2 men are gonna make something happen. And whatever happened on the night of that fight in that square circle is gonna sort out all this bullshit that we say. You know what I'm saying? Even though it ain't bullshit, but it's gonna sort it all out. 1 man, 1 night, 1 win.
I'm hearing Inoue is this the best little man we've ever seen. Oh, okay, yeah. He's better than
the favorite, bro.
Okay,
it's easy to pick the guy who's a favorite. Step out on faith, man.
I'm telling you right now, man. It's not the foregone conclusion people think it is. I'm favoring Inoue. I believe my official prediction Inoue wins. But look, a lot of people are going to be like this if Donaire knocks out Inoue. I'm not. I'll be like, could happen. So, my mouth's not going to be, my jaw's not going to hit the floor, guys. If that happens, that's all I'm saying, right? Donaire can turn within the first 3 rounds, and it'd be crazy if he drops him like Fernando Montiel. He might give him a seizure, right? This fight's in Japan too, bro. Man, it's going to be interesting, bro. It's going to be interesting. And he's going to test. We're going to find out if Inoue can take a punch, right?
He getting hit, that's for sure. And does Inoue hit harder than Rigondeaux? Does he hit harder than Nicholas Walter? Does he hit harder than Magdaleno at featherweight?
Does Inoue beat Walters? Can Inoue move up and beat Walters at that stage of Walters' career? You guys got to factor that in. You know what I mean? So, hey, Donaire looked like $1 million when he was at that weight class too. You know what I mean?
True.
All right. So sure, Donaire will beat Ashuri Leonard was against Terry Norris. Well, I'm not gonna compare Inoue to Terry Norris, but I get what you're saying though. I see what you mean about the age and all that. So it's going to be interesting, Ashy. That I will say. But anyway, moving on. Man, this week is a real deal, man. I want to ask you 2 quick questions. Where was Ashy Knuckles when this shit happened? See that?
Yeah. Oh, that was the second Riddick Bowe fight, right?
I believe, was it the third or the second?
I think it was the second one. The one, that's the second one because that's the one Bowe lost.
Okay.
Because to me, Bowe was coming on right before that happened. You know what I'm saying? He was coming on right before that happened, and they got smooth on his ass.
Yeah.
What they call him? Kite Man?
Kite Man. Yeah, I remember.
Fan Man. Fan Man. That's who it is.
Why would they call him Fan Man?
I have no fucking idea.
Did he have a fan on him? Like, is that how he got there?
He has some type of contraption, man. Flew his crazy ass inside the ring of a professional prize fight in the heavyweight division for the undisputed championship of the world.
Holyfield did stock him while it was against the ropes, bro.
Dude, if I'm not mistaken, I don't remember it like I just watched it yesterday or something like that. But I could have sworn Bowe leveled his fucking ass when he was falling out of the ring. I think swung on him real hard. He may have missed him.
I would play a video if YouTube didn't flag me, but
I don't know. But all I know is in that fight, I was I think at my grandmother's house, man. That's way back in the game.
It was crazy, huh?
Bowe was coming on, man. He was kind of right like around.
Jabs in Holyfield before that happened.
Huh?
He was popping some jabs in Holyfield.
Yeah, he was coming on, man. He was coming
Holyfield, on. Like after he got hit with a jab, saw the fan man, and he went like this, and Bowe was like ready to fight, and then the ref like stopped it, you know. But I still can't believe this happened, bro. What is this idiot thinking?
He wasn't thinking. I don't know. That's the first of his kind, man.
Right.
Not the first time we seen an idiot, but it's the first time we seen an idiot do this stupid ass shit.
Yeah,
But
that's like you have to be very creative, guys, to be a troll back then. You couldn't just come on the internet and be a troll.
yeah, there was no internet around here, and only like rich people had cell phones. I don't even know if it was cell phones yet. I don't even remember. If it was of the brick variety, and the car phones actually had wires.
Yes, I remember that.
Rolls Royces,
One of my aunt had a car phone. We were like so impressed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where were you when this happened? The ear bite, the infamous ear bite.
Oh shit! Where was I in the rematch? Huh?
Yeah.
Where was I? I think I was at my uncle's house. Me and my uncle used to watch a whole lot of fights, and that was terrible, man. That dude here, he lost total control in that fight, and those Mike Tyson fights were long overdue anyway. Because they should have happened even prior to him even going to jail.
Yeah, if he would have lost to Douglas, that's where they were going.
Yeah, they were gonna make the fight. I think even afterwards too. Even after he lost, they were gonna fight, and it just didn't happen. And it was a lot going into that fight too. Holyfield being this standout amateur or whatever. I think he won like a bronze medal.
Yep.
And he was undisputed at cruiserweight. He went up in weight. Fought like fought like Michael Dokes and what was the other? It was another heavyweight that was older than him. He wasn't at the top no more. They were champs in the 80s. Michael Dokes and somebody he fought. And that was supposed to pretty much tell everybody if he can actually handle the bigger guys, because he was such an undersized guy. But I think the fight with Douglas kind of answered that question because he fucking leveled Buster Douglas, knocked his ass out with a pull count. So
yeah, that Douglas wasn't in great shape for that fight though.
No, he wasn't, but he didn't look too terrible either, man. I mean, to me, he just looked like a heavyweight. He did, but it was so many stories coming out about how he was just fucking eating like crazy. And he did blow up after the Tyson fight. He did, man. But he did train. He did train for Holyfield. He did. But even still, it was stories around talking about how he was just wasn't taking it seriously. He was eating, and he just really wasn't focused on the task at hand. I think mom was already taken care of at that point, and he was collecting a check, and he got his ass whooped that night. He went down from a fucking right hand, and that was the end of that thing. And that was a substantially bigger guy. So, but Holyfield never really had the size to, dominate guys based on his weight and his physical features. It was always his conditioning, his heart, and his skills. Emphasis on the heart, you know what I'm saying, and his conditioning. Because he would throw a lot of shots, and he would take those shots too that he was receiving too. But if Holyfield had that one punch power, a shot that can get a guy out of there, just that kill shot, he fool around and he probably wouldn't have half the losses that he got, because he fought every damn body,
Yeah.
I mean, I could think of some guys that he didn't fight, but he fought everybody who was pretty much relevant. I mean, he didn't fight
him multiple times. He wouldn't move on until you had a trilogy with him.
He had to really get acquainted with you. He had to really know you. The Michael Moores twice, Riddick Bowe 3 times, Tyson twice, Lewis twice, Ruiz 3 times. I mean, he just fought a lot of guys. He really did. He fought Ray Mercer. He fought Riddick Bowe. I said Riddick Bowe already. I was more of a Bowe fan, honestly, because Bowe was a big bruiser. I mean, he didn't have a bruiser style, but he was a big guy and a superb boxer. And he was the ideal heavyweight, man. He was skillful. He was tall. He was rangy. He had a good punch. He had good skills, and he was amazing. He was tough to deal with in that ring. You know what I'm saying? And even the fight that he lost to Holyfield was close. You know, some people thought Bo won that thing. You know, even with after the fan man leaped into the ring, you know, Holyfield came alive when his stupid ass got, hauled out of the ring or whatever. But Holyfield came alive late in the fight. You know, but yeah, Riddick Bowe was something to deal with, man. I would have loved to see him fight Lennox Lewis, but this ain't about Riddick Bowe, man. It's about the real deal Holyfield and his legendary career for which he stayed around a little bit too long, in my opinion. But most guys really never know when it's time to fucking hang it up. So,
he loved fighting.
You know he loved fighting. He's a true warrior to his name, you know. True warrior.
What are your three? Would you say are your three favorite Holyfield fights?
Well, the first Tyson fight, because I don't think Tyson really expected what he got in the first fight. Again, by the time Tyson got to him, he had already lost to Bo and Michael Moore. Right. And he was coming off of the Bobby Chiz victory, for which most people felt he should have been able to get Bobby Chiz out of there, because Bobby Chiz is like light heavyweight, cruiserweight career. You know what I'm saying? He never was a full heavyweight. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So being of the fact that he was in there at heavyweight, most people, even to this day, feel that if you in there with a blown up cruiser or blown up lightweight, you should be able to get him out of there. And he hit Chiz with a lot of shots, and he thoroughly won the fight. But he didn't. He let the guy stick around, So I guess Tyson felt that he should be able to, withstand whatever that Chiz just endured with this guy. But on the night of the fight, it wasn't like that. Holyfield was in that thing, and he showed Mike from the first ding that he was going to be in for a long fight. And he frustrated the hell out of Mike. And even though Mike did get head-butted and stuff like that, it's just a damn excuse. I believe, because your ass, he was getting fucking leaned on too, and I don't mean leaned on as far as lean on him with your weight. I'm talking about leaning on his ass.
Yeah,
So
all right, so then that was a surprising win, and Holyfield was a big underdog, as you mentioned, man. A lot of people did not see that coming. And what you say is, second fight?
I would say the Moore rematch, because he won it easily. Okay. He won the fight easily. You know what I'm saying? And then I have to say maybe the Foreman, because again, undersized heavyweight. It was easy to believe from all the other bigger heavyweights, because we had real big fucking heavyweights at that time. That Holyfield shouldn't be able to throw anything that'll really hurt them, that they should be able to stand in there with him, and everything that they hit him with, he should be reacting to it. And Holyfield had to prove it time and time again, even though he's undersized, the size of the fight that was in him should have been really considered more so than the size of the actual physical man. And that fight with Foreman is one of those fights. Even though Foreman was like 45 years old, Foreman was still Foreman,
Sure.
And to prove that Foreman was still Foreman, years later he knocked out Michael Moore and won the heavyweight championship. That's after he lost to Holyfield. You know what I'm saying? So he was still very dangerous at that weight. He was still dynamite.
Was right in front of Foreman. Right. That's the crazy part.
Yeah. So that's definitely the third one, man. And but if I talk about some of the fights that I like for Holyfield, I probably have to talk about the first fight with Lennox Lewis, because I was a big Lennox Lewis fan too. So I did like that fight, you know what I'm saying? But it's not Lennox's time, it's Holyfield's time. So
I mean, Holyfield was in a fight, right? I mean, how did you see that fight?
The first fight, I mean, there was a draw. The first fight was ruled a draw, if I'm not mistaken. But I know Lennox got the victory. He should have got the victory in that first fight. I mean, he just fucking dominated Holyfield from ding to dong. He dominated Holyfield. The second fight, Holyfield should have won the fight, but they gave it to Lennox. You know, it was a little closer, but I think Holyfield
Payback.
really reestablished that he was still the real deal. But they gave the fight to Lennox Lewis. It's kind of symbolic of those Morales Barrera fights.
Okay.
You know? So even though the first fight went to Morales, right?
Yeah, Morales won the first one.
Right.
That's the one everybody knows about, that fight. And then, of course, they gave the second to Barrera, even though Morales should have won. And
Morales should have won, right. But
and
see,
the third was the closest one, yeah.
Yeah. But at least in the heavyweights with these guys, the first one was ruled a draw, if I'm not mistaken. But Lennox should have won. That should have been a W. But the second one, I thought Holyfield should have got that one.
Holyfield said he thought Foreman knocked his teeth out after being hit with a jab.
I can believe it, man.
I have no idea how the first Lewis fight was a draw. I don't think anyone. We have so many questions about, like, what's the meaning of life? You know, what's the, you know, so many questions, and one of them is how was that fight scored a draw? I don't know. Holyfield has Lewis badly. He had Lewis badly hurt in the second fight.
Facts.
So, man, like, this dude would, like, even his. What do you think about his fights with John Ruiz?
Well, I mean, he wasn't the same Holyfield that he was. He had already been in so many doggone wars. But at the end of the day, man, you know, they got in there and they did that, man. He fought that man. They fought each other, you know. And in those fights, yeah, Ruiz was in those fights. And, you know, when you look at Ruiz's resume, Ruiz fought the who's who of the heavyweights in his era. He was in there with him. And if they didn't fight, it wasn't because he didn't want to fight. Right. Now, he did have an ugly, huggy style and stuff like that, but he had a sneaky right hand. And if you wasn't careful, that right hand will hurt you bad. You know what I'm saying? Like it did Fressa Kendo, you know? So at the end of the day, you know, it gave life to Ruiz's career. It didn't help Holyfield or hurt Holyfield whatsoever, but it showed that Ruiz was one of the top guys at that time. Going into his little era, you know, in the Chris Birds and all them, when at the time where they reigned as champions in their respective organizations, man. But you know, those fights were what they were, man. They were just more fights on Holyfield's record, but he wasn't the fighter that he was. He wasn't the fighter that Tyson fought. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no.
So, he wasn't the fighter that Bo fought, you know.
But wait, how about those? Look at these Don King cards, bro. I mean, holy shit.
Yeah, it used to be stacked with championship fights, man.
Like all these talking about Eddie Hearn being the best promoter of all time.
Oh, man, not even close. He's not even better than fucking Frank Warren and Mick Hennessy.
Dude, like,
that's a dagger to the gut right there.
Don King did a lot of corrupt stuff, but he gave us some great cards.
Oh, he would. If there was a fight to be made, it was going to be made. He just was going to get most of the money, though.
Yeah,
that part.
And you have like 4 title fights like in one card,
or more.
Yeah. You know, 4 great fights one night, and he would just pump up these fights, man. But
he really would.
I actually enjoyed the John Ruiz fights with Holyfield. It's the only fights like that and the Roy Jones fight are the only fights I can actually watch with John Ruiz. You know what I mean?
He fought somebody else and beat them. What was it, Galata?
I don't remember.
I think he fought Andrew Galata late, and he did well in that fight too, if I'm not mistaken. Because I know Galata fought Chris Bird, and I think they gave the fight to Bird, but Galata should have won that fight. That's one of the rare times Bird actually got his ass whooped. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of, what was Galata thinking in the fights with Bo?
Man, I have no idea. You know, I stand.
There was something wrong with that guy, I think.
Mentally, because he had everything. He had everything, DStyle. The boy could fight. Galata had hands, man. He had good hand speed. He had good combinations. He was strong. He had good boxing skills. Everybody knew what the dude was damn sure believed in him, but he could not mentally keep it together. He had 5 world title shots and lost all them hoes. He is the heavyweight version of Rocky Juarez.
Yeah. Man. Now, one last fight I want to ask you about. This was, I mean, speaking about later in his career, bro. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to put the image up here. What do you remember about this fight with Valuev?
Oh, God.
Like,
this ogre.
I thought he won that fight. I thought
Holyfield won too, man. And that just goes to show you, man. You know what I'm saying? That you can never count Holyfield out. And we know he was clearly past his best when he fought Valuev. Clearly.
Yeah.
But lo and behold, he had a little bit more in the reserves, and
should have been the oldest heavyweight champion after that. He should have.
Yeah. Boy, man, that would have really added another feather in his cap if he was able to regain that thing too.
Yeah.
You know, I totally forgot about that particular factor.
I think he might have had to fight. He might have ended up fighting Hay, but and looking back, I think he would have had a shot at beating Hay.
I think they would have matched up with each other quite well, but he would have brought more dimensions to the game against Hay than Valuev did, because Holyfield wasn't like just this big ogre. You know what I'm saying? Holyfield had great balance, and he was going to be in there with you, you know, and he was fast enough to really get to Hay. I'm not saying he would have beat Hay or Hay would have beat him. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying I think they matched up well against each other, you know?
Absolutely. By the way, guys, make sure you go to mandatorydefense.com. Check out the content. All right? It's been
updated every day.
There you go, guys. At Punch Channel with Ashy Knuckles. And damn right, Igloo, I do talk about historic boxing on this channel. Yes, I do. All right. That's not a bad thing. No. Well, we talked about current events like for 3/4 of the show, bro. You know. But with that said, Ashy, you have any final thoughts, final words before we wrap it up?
No, this was really good, man. This is really cool broadcast tonight. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole lot more we could have brought out on Holyfield, you know, because we ain't even touch his time in cruiserweight, for which we were like, I know I was a kid, so I don't recall watching any of that live. So I had those fights I had to revisit when I got of age. But man, just a great career, man. I mean, he didn't prove he definitely has the best resume of his era and stuff like that, but he did not prove he was the best of his era. But he damn sure had the best resume.
I mean, I think he proved he was the best for a certain period of time, you know, but man, that's tough to say. But, you know.
Well, that could be a video too, you know.
Oh, I know earlier you said you can't believe St. Peter was still. Did you know that? Because he came to mind when I was talking about Lennox Lewis, bro. What's his name? Oliver McCall still fighting?
You got to be kidding me! Oh, that's another world champion that Holyfield didn't. Holyfield didn't fight Oliver McCall.
No.
You know, he didn't fight Witherspoon. You know, there were guys he didn't fight, but you know, he fought who he needed to fight. He fought who was relevant at the time.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I don't think there's such thing as anyone fighting everybody.
You can't do it. It's impossible.
But there's like 1,000 dudes in your division, and you ain't gonna fight all of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know, I gotta tell you, man. Salute, my shirt buffering like crazy, says Ban Tweed. Reggie, salute, what's going on, everybody? Oliver McCall is still at 54, bro. He's still fighting. And no, we're not kidding you. Okay? His last fight was in Mexico. He won, by the way. He's winning. He's beating some unknowns and stuff, but hey. With that said, guys, make sure you catch Ashy Knuckles, man. Go subscribe to Ashy Knuckles Boxing, and you can catch him on the name of the moniker on its Twitter handle, Puncher's Chance. So make sure you can catch him on Twitter as well, and go to MandatoryDefenseBoxing.com. And come out fighting, right, on Facebook.
On Facebook, come out fighting. Go by Facebook, come out fighting. Like the page. Hook me up.
Well, all you millennials, don't come out and tell me you don't got Facebook. Okay, go to come out fighting. Okay, I know you guys got it. All right.
Take 2 seconds.
Absolutely. All right. But anyway, moving on. This is DStyleBoxing. Keep it boxing.
Boxing.
Shout out. Peace.